What's up, YouTube? My name is Big Boy Snatch on TV, aka Wakanda Snatch One, because I got playing around. This is my WWE Evolution review and highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please full watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content that I do on the channel, because I'm on the road to 11K, where I give you guys a full breakdown of my review and not to have my review. Go watch my AEW All In Texas review and highlights. And that's all I gotta say. Without further ado, let's get started. Now, WWE Revolution was a good show. This show was way better than Saturday Night's Main Event and 2018's Evolution combined together. So AEW All In Texas and this WWE Revolution was way better than WWE Revolution back in 2018 and Saturday Night's Main Event combined together. Yeah, I said it. Challenge me in the comment section. Alright, let's get started. WWE Revolution was live from State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Commentary tonight were Michael Cole and Ray Barrett. Alright, WWE Evolution kicks off with an aerial shot of State Farm Arena in Atlanta. Pre-show entries are shown, and we see a number of the wrestlers walking in. Bayley, Lyra Kira, and the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch, WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton, WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus, Women's World Champion Sky, and Rhea Ripley are the wrestlers shown. We cut to a live inside the arena to a video package for the show. Back in the arena, Joe Tessler welcomes everyone to the show. Stephanie McMahon tells him that the first ever Revolution, they had a lot to prove. They had to prove that they belong, that they can have their own POE, their own show that everyone would show up and watch. And 7 years later, the women are regularly main eventing. That which is facts by Stephanie McMahon. She says that Jade Cargill against Naomi in a no holds bar match is one she wants to watch tonight. Joe Tessler introduced our ring announcers for the show, Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. Michael Cole leads us into the first match, which is for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Alright, so we get the first match, triple threat for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Becky Lynch versus Bayley versus Lyra Kira. This match was fantastic. This match was really good to watch. The bell rings. We are underway. Bayley gets the crowd going, and they are all on their feet. Bayley with a forearm onto Lyra Kira, knocking her to the outside of the ring. Bayley and Becky Lynch stand in the ring, and Becky Lynch holds up 4 fingers, symboling the 4 horsewomen. Bayley with a right hand and a back suplex. Becky Lynch rolls to the outside, and Lyra Kira hits Bayley from behind. Both women exchange right hands, and Bayley rolls her up, but Lyra Kira kicks out. In comes Becky Lynch, who rolls them both up, but they both kick out. Becky Lynch throws Lyra Kira into Bayley, and Lyra Kira gets up, landing a crossbody onto Becky Lynch. She goes for the cover, but Becky Lynch kicks out. Lyra Kira grabs Becky Lynch by the arms, but in comes Bayley with a boot to the face onto Lyra Kira. Bayley runs towards Lyra Kira, but Lyra Kira moves out of the way, and Bayley to the outside. Lyra Kira goes for a dive to the outside, but she is caught by both women, who slam her face first into the announcer table. Bayley and Becky Lynch stare at each other and begin with right hands. Bayley throws her back into the ring. As Bayley is getting back in the ring, Becky Lynch kicks her down. Becky Lynch to the ropes, and she lands a baseball slide. Becky Lynch on the ring apron and a flying punch onto Lyra Kira. Becky Lynch back to her feet, but Bayley with a dropkick under the bottom rope onto Becky Lynch. Lyra Kira gets up and she lands a crossbody off the ring apron onto Bayley on the outside. Lyra Kira goes for a tornado DDT onto Becky Lynch, but Becky Lynch throws her into the ring steps. Becky Lynch grabs Bayley and throws her into the barricade. Becky Lynch with a suplex into the barricade, and Bayley tweaks her knee. Becky Lynch throws her into the ring and goes for the cover, but Bayley kicks out. Becky Lynch grabs Bayley, but Bayley with forearms. Bayley goes for a rose plant, but Becky Lynch reverses it and gets out of it. Becky Lynch goes for the manhandle slam, but Lyra Kira with a double crossbody off the top rope onto both women. Lyra Kira with kicks onto Becky Lynch, but Becky Lynch grabs Lyra Kira's leg and hits Bayley with it. Lyra Kira with a kick to the face onto Becky Lynch, followed by a suplex. Lyra Kira rolls through it and lands a fisherman's buster. She goes for the cover, but Bayley with a flying elbow off the top rope. The fans chant Bayley, and Bayley places Lyra Kira on the top rope in a trio roll. Bayley stomps on Lyra Kira. In comes Becky Lynch, but Bayley with a sunset flip bomb, slamming Becky Lynch down into the corner onto Lyra Kira. She goes for the cover, but Becky Lynch kicks out. With Lyra Kira still in a trio roll, Bayley with an elbow drop. She goes for the cover, but Lyra Kira kicks out. Bayley climbs the top rope, but Becky Lynch gets on the ring apron and hits her with a right hand. Becky Lynch gets in the ring and climbs the second rope. In comes Lyra Kira, but Becky Lynch kicks her down. Becky Lynch with a superplex off the top rope. She goes for the cover, but Bayley kicks out. Becky Lynch with a disarm her, but Bayley reverses it into a cover, but Becky Lynch kicks out. Becky Lynch goes for a disarm her once more, but Bayley reverses it into a rope slam. But Lyra Kira went with a leg drop off the top rope onto both women. She goes for the cover, but Bayley kicks out. All three women are down, and the fans are on their feet, clapping and chanting, "This is awesome," which is I agree with the fans. All three get to their feet, and Becky Lynch with a double DT onto both women. Becky Lynch goes for the cover, but Lyra Kira kicks out. Becky Lynch gets to her feet and goes for the manhandle slam, but Lyra Kira reverses it into a cover. Becky Lynch kicks out. Both women get up, and Becky Lynch with a manhandle slam. She goes for the cover, but Bayley breaks it up. Bayley and Becky Lynch get into it with right hands and slams Bayley to the ropes, but Becky Lynch with a right hand. With the right hand. Becky Lynch to the ropes and Bayley with a knee. Bayley lifts Becky Lynch up on her shoulders and slams her down onto the mat. Bayley to belly. She goes for the cover, but Lyra Kira breaks it up. Lyra Kira with a kick to the side of the head onto Bayley. Lyra Kira with a Nightwing onto Becky Lynch. She goes for the cover, but Bayley breaks it up. Bayley rolls Lyra Kira up, but Lyra Kira reverses it into a cover. Bayley kicks out. Lyra Kira goes for a kick to the side of the head, but Bayley ducks and she lands a rope slam. She goes for the cover, but in comes Becky Lynch, who gets a side cover onto Bayley for the Becky Lynch, who gets a backslide cover onto Bayley and gets the pin. That was clean, by the way, by Becky Lynch. The winner of the match is still your WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, Becky Lynch. This was a good triple threat match to kick off the show. That was a fun triple threat match, a great match to start the show, and the fans were really into it. I had Bayley winning, but Becky Lynch retaining is not bad either. Good start to the show. Hashtag WWE Evolution, which is I agree with that. We see NXT General Manager Ava in attendance and Mark Henry. We hear, excuse me, it's Vicky Guerrero who is in the attendance. So we get the next match, NXT Women's Championship match. Jessie Jane, accompanied by Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nick versus Juggernaut Jordan Grace, accompanied by Blake Monroe. When I saw Blake Monroe turn on Juggernaut Jordan Grace, I know Juggernaut Jordan Grace was so pissed off. But this also a good match too. The bell rings, we are on the way. Jordan Grace and with a German suplex, right hand, and Jessie Jane to the outside of the ring. Jordan Grace with a suicide dive to the outside, and she throws Jessie Jane back into the ring. Juggernaut Jordan Grace goes for the cover, but Jessie Jane kicks out. Jordan Grace grabs Jessie Jane, but Jessie Jane with an elbow to the face. And Jordan Grace to the outside. Jessie Jane on the ring apron. She kicks Jordan Grace in the face. Jessie Jane stands on top of Jordan Grace and throws her back into the ring. Jessie Jane back in the ring and lands a swinging neck breaker. She goes for the cover, but Jordan Grace kicks out. Jessie Jane distracts the referee. Jessie Jane distracts the referee, and Fallon Henley chokes Jordan Grace in the corner. Jessie Jane goes for the cover, but Jordan Grace kicks out. Fallon Henley should have been banned from ringside, but the referee was distracted. But anyway, Jessie Jane with a chin lock in the middle of the ring. Jordan Grace gets to her feet, out of it. Jordan Grace with a spine buster, and both women are down. Both women to their feet, and Jordan Grace with their right hand, but Jessie Jane with chops to the chest. She grabs Jordan Grace, but Jordan Grace with a kick, and she slams Jessie Jane into the corner 3 times. Jordan Grace lifts Jessie Jane up and slams her face first onto the top turnbuckle. Jordan Grace with a floating power bomb, and she goes for the cover, but Jessie Jane kicks out. Jordan Grace with a slam, and she climbs the second turnbuckle. She goes for the Vader bomb, but Jessie Jane moves out of the way. Jessie Jane goes for a kick. Jordan Grace ducks and she runs to the ropes, but Jessie Jane with a boot to the face. Jordan Grace on the ring apron and Jessie Jane with a knee to the face. She hangs Jordan Grace up on the second rope and Jessie Jane with a swinging draping neck breaker. She goes for the cover, but Jordan Grace kicks out. Jessie Jane goes for a cannonball in the corner, but Jordan Grace moves out of the way. Jordan Grace with a sunset flip cover, but Jessie Jane kicks out. Jessie Jane with the cover, but Jordan Grace kicks out. Jordan Grace goes for the cover, but Jessie Jane kicks out. Jessie Jane goes for a big kick, but Jordan Grace catches her with a modified fisherman suplex by Jordan Grace. She goes for the cover, but Jessie Jane kicks out. Alright. Jordan Grace on the ring apron and she climbs the top rope. Jessie Jane gets to her feet and lands a kick to the face. Jessie Jane climbs the top rope and she lands a Frankenstein followed by a running knee. She goes for the cover, but Jordan Grace kicks out. Jessie Jane orders Fallen Hanley to grab the title. Jasmine gets on the ring apron and distracts the referee. Fallen Hanley throws the belt in the ring, but Blake Monroe with a headbutt and she knocks Fallen Hanley down. Jessie Jane grabs the belt, but the referee grabs it from her. Juggernaut Jordan Grace rolls her up, but Jessie Jane kicks out. Jasmine grabs the belt on the outside, but Blake Monroe knocks her, and Blake Monroe holds the title. Fallen Hanley gets back on the ring apron, distracting the referee. Jessie Jane throws Juggernaut Jordan Grace to the ropes, and Blake Monroe hits her with the NXT Championship. Jessie Jane with the rolling encore. She rolls Jordan Grace up and gets the pin. The winner and still your NXT Women's Champion, Jessie Jane, which is how called it straight down the middle. You already know that Juggernaut Jordan Grace was not going to beat Jessie Jane, so Jessie Jane retained it with the NXT Women's Champion. This was a good match too. But Blake Monroe turned on Juggernaut Jordan Grace, so Jordan Grace is so pissed off. Jessie Jane, Fallen Hanley, and Jasmine look confused as to what just happened, but they get in the ring celebrating. Blake Monroe gets in the ring with the championship and hands it to Jessie Jane, who looks at her confused. Blake Monroe smiles and leaves the ring as we see Jordan Grace on the outside bleeding. Solid match between Jessie Jane and Jordan Grace. It was all about the ending. Blake Monroe helping Jordan Grace until she didn't. A turn at the end, and we have Blake Monroe's first big opponent since joining the brand. WWE Evolution. So, you know what this means, right? That Juggernaut Jordan Grace lost to Jessie Jane. It's Blake Monroe. It's Blake Monroe's time to take the title off of Jessie Jane. So that's going to happen in the next pay-per-view, but I don't know when. We see Jacqueline, Ivory, and Maurice in attendance. So we get the next match, a fatal 4-way tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. The Judgment Day versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Saruka and Zarya versus the Kabuki Warriors. And this tag team match this fatal 4-way tag team match right here, this was a fun fatal 4-way tag team match. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this was fun for what it was. Alright. The bell rings were underway. Kairi Sane and Roxanne Perez start the match. Roxanne Perez with a slap to the face, and she throws Kairi Sane to the ropes. But Kairi Sane with a leg scissors takedown. Kairi Sane follows by a clothesline. She goes for the cover, but Roxanne Perez kicks out. Asuka is tagged in, and the Kabuki Warriors knock Saruka and Zarya off the ring apron. They double team Roxanne Perez in the ring. Asuka with a hip attack onto Roxanne Perez. She throws her to the ropes, and Wakara Rodriguez is tagged into the ring. In comes Kairi Sane, and she throws Kairi Sane onto Asuka. Wakara Rodriguez knocks Charlotte Flair off the ring apron, and the Judgment Day knocks Saruka and Zarya off the apron. Roxanne Perez is tagged back in, and they double team Asuka. Roxanne Perez to the ropes, but Asuka kicks her away. Asuka to the ropes, but Roxanne Perez with their right hand, and Alexa Bliss tags herself in. Alexa Bliss with right hands onto Roxanne Perez, followed by a double knees. Alexa Bliss slaps Raquel Rodriguez down. Roxanne Perez with a poke in the eye, and Zarya tags herself into the match. Alexa Bliss looks at Zarya and goes for a chokeslam, but Zarya with a choke of her own. She lifts Alexa Bliss up on her shoulders and presses her, but Alexa Bliss lands on her feet. Alexa Bliss with a chop to the leg. She goes for a DDT, but Zarya blocks her and reverses it into a vertical suplex. So Ruka attacks herself in. Zarya knocks Charlotte Flair down. So Ruka goes for the cover, but Alexa Bliss kicks out. So Ruka with a spinning slam. She goes for a super kick, but Alexa Bliss blocks it, and she kicks Saruka in the face. Raquel Rodriguez taps herself back in. She throws Alexa Bliss in the corner, and Raquel Rodriguez with a splash. Roxanne Perez tag in, and they go to double team Alexa Bliss, but Charlotte Flair is tagged in. Charlotte Flair with a crossbody off the top rope onto the Judgment Day. Charlotte Flair with chops onto both women. Charlotte Flair takes out both women, and the fans are on their feet. Charlotte Flair clotheslines Raquel Rodriguez to the outside. Roxanne Perez walks Charlotte Flair up from behind, but Charlotte Flair kicks out. Roxanne Perez to the ropes, and Charlotte Flair with a spear. She goes for the cover, but Roxanne Perez kicks out. Charlotte Flair goes for the figure four, but Raquel Rodriguez breaks it up. Asuka tags herself in, and she lands a drop kick off the top rope onto Raquel Rodriguez. Asuka with a kick onto Roxanne Perez, and Asuka to the ropes, and Kairi Sane is tagged in. She goes for the cover on Roxanne Perez, but Zarya breaks it up. Zarya tags herself in for Roxanne Perez. The Kabuki Warriors double team Zarya in the middle of the ring. They go for a superplex, but Zarya with a double suplex, and Soruka is tagged in. Soruka with a handstand splash. In comes Charlotte Flair, who breaks it up. Soruka with the Soul Snatcher onto Charlotte Flair. Alexa Bliss goes for the Sister Abigail on Soruka, but Soruka reverses it. She holds Alexa Bliss, and Zarya goes for a spear on Alexa Bliss, but Charlotte Flair moves Alexa Bliss out of the way, and Zarya accidentally spears Soruka. Raquel Rodriguez taps herself in, and she takes everyone out. Roxanne Perez with the pop rock onto Charlotte Flair. Raquel Rodriguez lifts Alexa Bliss up and throws her onto the Kabuki Warriors and Zarya on the outside of the ring. Roxanne Perez with a suicide dive onto Charlotte Flair on the outside. Raquel Rodriguez with the Tata bomb on Soruka. She goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match is still your WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. I never understand having 4 teams but only 2 people in the ring at the same time. With that said, not a mess of a 4-team tag match. Charlotte Flair look better than she has for the last 2 years. The Judgment Day getting the win makes sense. Hashtag WWE Evolution. Alright, let's move on. Alright. Tori Wilson, Melina, and Molly Holly are showing at the attendance. I was so happy to see Tori Wilson, Melina at the attendance, and Molly Holly. But I was looking at Tori Wilson and Melina at the same time. I miss Tori Wilson and Melina. That's just my opinion. So let's move on to the next match. So we get the next match right here. So we get the WWE Women's Championship match. Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus. This match was way better than Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. This is facts by itself. And this match right here, I ain't gonna lie, this was a decent match in my opinion. But this match was way better than Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. And that's facts by itself. The bell rings, we are underway. Trish Stratus with a headlock takedown, but Tiffany Stratton reverses it into a leg scissors. Trish Stratus gets out of it in an armbar onto Tiffany Stratton, who gets out of it. Trish Stratus with the arm drag, both women to the ropes, and Tiffany Stratton with a drop kick followed by a hip attack onto Trish Stratus' back. She goes for the cover, but Trish Stratus kicks out. Tiffany Stratton with a snap suplex. She drags Trish Stratus onto the ring apron. She grabs Trish Stratus, but Trish Stratus with a leg scissors, dropping Tiffany Stratton from the ring apron onto the floor. Trish Stratus throws Tiffany Stratton into the barricade, and the fans chant, You still got it. You still got it. She throws Tiffany Stratton back into the ring, and Trish Stratus with a spine buster. She goes for the cover, but Tiffany Stratton kicks out. Trish Stratus goes on the second rope and lands a tornado DDT. She goes for the cover, but Tiffany Stratton kicks out. Trish Stratus with a chop to the chest. Trish Stratus goes for another chop, but Tiffany Stratton ducks. Tiffany Stratton with a chop, and both women with right hands. Tiffany Stratton kicks Trish Stratus down into the corner. Tiffany Stratton with a cartwheel back elbow. Tiffany Stratton lifts Trish Stratus up for a suplex, and she drives Trish Stratus back first into her knee. I'm sorry. Tiffany Stratton climbs the top rope, and she lands a swanton. She goes for the cover, but Trish Stratus kicks out. Tiffany Stratton climbs the top rope, but Trish Stratus with right hands, and she slams Tiffany Stratton down onto the mat. Trish Stratus with a kick to the side of the head. Trish Stratus goes for the Stratus faction, but Tiffany Stratton blocks it. A rolling senton by Tiffany Stratton, and she goes for the prettiest moonsault ever, but Trish Stratus gets her knees up. Trish Stratus with the Stratus faction, and she goes for the cover, but Tiffany Stratton kicks out. Trish Stratus climbs the top rope, and she goes for the moonsault, but Tiffany Stratton gets her knees up. Tiffany Stratton with a kick to the side of the head, followed by the Alabama Slam. Tiffany Stratton with the prettiest moonsault ever. She goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match is still your WWE Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton. This was a decent match. This was a decent match for what it was. All right. Yeah, this was a decent match for what it was. Trish Stratus at 49 years old looked better than a lot of the women's in the women's division. A short match, but the point, nothing was done for the sake of being done. Tiffany Stratton was good out there, and Trish Stratus can still go, which is I agree with that. Hashtag WWE Evolution. All right, let's move on. Alundra Blaze is in the attendance, as is Leyland Kai. No holds barred. Bianca Belair as special guest referee. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. This match was fantastic. This match was cooking as well. But I'm glad Jade Cargill won. So this match was good too. This match was physical, brutal, and this match was brutal, good, and physical at the same time. As Jade is walking down to the ring, Naomi gets out of the ring and goes for a right hand. Jade Cargill with a right hand, and she throws Naomi into the barricade. As Bianca Belair asks for the bell, we are on the way. Jade throws Naomi into the ring steps. She grabs Naomi, but Naomi slams Jade Cargill face first into the ring steps. Naomi grabs a candlestick from under the ring. She swings it towards Jade, but Jade ducks. Jade with a suplex on the outside of the ring. Jade Cargill with a table from under the ring and places it on the outside. Jade Cargill takes her time to set up the table that allows Naomi to recover. But Jade Cargill grabs Naomi, but Naomi throws her face first onto the ring post. Naomi grabs the candlestick and hits Jade with it. Naomi begins pulling out weapons from under the ring, throwing a steel chair and a garbage can in the ring. Jade Cargill hits her with a spear on the outside. She throws Naomi into the ring, and Jade Cargill grabs a toolbox and places it on the ring apron. Jade Cargill gets in the ring, but Naomi lands a bulldog onto the steel chair. She goes for the cover, but Jade Cargill kicks out. Naomi throws Jade Cargill shoulder first into the ring post. Naomi opens the toolbox and pulls out a steel chair. Naomi climbs the top rope and she wraps it around Jade Cargill's face, pulling her upwards, but Jade Cargill overpowers Naomi. Jade Cargill slams Naomi down onto the mat and she grabs the steel chair. She wraps it around her first, and hits Naomi with it. Bianca Belair looks in disbelief in the corner. Jade Cargill grabs the camera from the camerawoman, and she hits Naomi with it. Jade Cargill tosses the camera on the outside, and she places the garbage can on top of Naomi's head. Jade Cargill with a jumping kick to the face, and Naomi rolls to the outside of the ring. Jade Cargill grabs the toolbox, lifting it, and she throws it towards Naomi, but Naomi moves out of the way. Jade Cargill to the outside, but Naomi slams her into the ring apron, into the ring announcer table. I'm sorry. Jade Cargill was leaning on the side of the table on a TV monitor, and Naomi drop kicks her into the monitor. Electric sparks Electric sparks goes off behind Jade Cargill. Naomi grabs the table from under the ring. Bianca Belair checks up on Jade Cargill on the outside. Naomi places the table in the ring as Jade Cargill slowly gets in the ring. Naomi with a drop kick. Naomi grabs Jade Cargill and tries to push Jade Cargill's face into the leg of the table, but Jade Cargill pushes her away. Naomi on the ring apron and she lands a kick to the side of the head. Naomi wraps her leg around Jade Cargill and slams her head first onto the ring apron. Naomi back in the ring and she grabs the steel chair. Jade Cargill is in the ring apron. It's in the ring apron and Naomi hits Jade with it as Jade Cargill falls backwards through the table. As that is set up at ringside. Naomi to the outside and she places Naomi back in the ring. She slams Jade face first onto the steel chair. Naomi goes for the cover, but Jade Cargill kicks out. Naomi places the table in the ring and places Jade on it. She grabs the chair, placing it on the top of Jade Cargill. Naomi climbs the second row, but Jade Cargill gets to her feet and she hits Naomi with the chair. Jade Cargill climbs the top rope and hits Jade through the table. She goes for the cover and gets the pin. That was a awesome spot by Jade Cargill hitting the Jade off the top ropes onto the table. The winner of the match, Jade Cargill. This was a good match in my opinion. I was not a fan of this match. It looked like they were trying too much with the weapons. The table, the steel chairs, steps, and the electric sparks on the television. The chairs, the steel chain, the toolbox. It was a lot in this one. Not a fan. Ain't nothing from Bianca Belair. # WWE Evolution. All right, let's move on. So this is Mike Testico tagging in from the Great Roy Nimber. All right, let's move on. All right. It said tomorrow night on Raw, LA Knight main event, Jey Uso, Penta, Braun Breaker, and CM Punk will battle in a gauntlet match, with the winner going on to face Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. CM Punk is going to win tomorrow. I guarantee you. Watch, I tell you, I'm calling it straight down the middle. That CM Punk is going to win tomorrow night on Raw in the gauntlet match. So let's move on. So we get a 20 Women's Battle Royal. Nikki Bella versus Chelsea Green versus Piper Niven versus Alba Fyre versus Natalia versus Maxine Dupree versus Jada Parker versus Lash Legend versus Lola Vice versus Selena Vega versus Keelan Jordan versus Tatum Paxley versus Easy Dane versus B-Fab versus Mitchin versus RB9 versus Candice LeRae versus Nia Jax versus Stephanie Bakura versus the WWE Women's United States Champion Julia. The winner of this match will receive a Women's Championship match at WWE Clash in Paris. And this match right here, I ain't even gonna lie. This was a great win for Stephanie McCure, but this Battle Royal match right here, this was a solid, not solid. This was fun to watch too. The woman cooked in this match. Every woman in the women's division cooked in this match. All right, let's get started. The bell rings and everyone starts to brawl. Nia Jax quickly grabs Tatum Paxley and sends her over the top rope to eliminate her. Izzy Dame immediately starts punching Nia Jax to avenge her fallen friend, but Nia Jax easily sends her over as well. Keelan Jordan and Jada Parker try to double team Nia Jax, but Nia Jax runs them over with a double clothesline. Nia Jax puts Keelan Jordan on the apron and knocks her off the apron into the arms of Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dane. They catch her and lands her on the commentary table. So Keelan Jordan's feet have not touched the floor yet. She did the same thing like Kofi Kingston did at the Men's Royal Rumble. When she do a handstand and she walks towards it without touching the ropes. So touching the floor, that's all I gotta say. She did the exact same thing as Kofi Kingston did. Alright. Technically, Candice LeRae attacks Lola Vice as she goes out to Nia Jax. Keelan Jordan then slides off the table onto her hands, walks on her hands back in the apron, puts her feet on the bottom rope, and pulls herself up to the apron before getting back in the ring. Keelan Jordan then hits Lola Vice and Candice LeRae with a double drop kick. Keelan Jordan takes Lola Vice down with a cartwheel elbow. Lash Legend then forearms Keelan Jordan back. What was it? It says Keilani Jordan takes Lola Vice down with the cartwheel elbow. Last legend then forearms Keilani Jordan down before hitting Ivory Knight with a backbreaker. Nia Jax avalanches Last Legend down and bounces her off the top rope. Stephanie Mercury attacks Ivory Knight and goes for a running double knee, but Ivory Knight moves. Ivory Knight puts Stephanie Mercury on the top rope, but Stephanie Mercury grabs the arm and pulls her over the top rope. Julia then eliminates Ivory Knight by simply pushing the rest of her body over the top rope. Alright, so we get Nikki Bella goes after Julia, but Julia takes the WWE Hall of Famer down, and Nikki Bella chant picks up. Julia and Stephanie Mercury go face to face. Julia extends a hand, and Stephanie Mercury shakes it. They start to brawl in the center of the ring. They rock each other with headbutts before Stephanie Mercury hits her with a snap suplex. Nikki Bella attacks Stephanie Mercury and bounces her face off her knee. Stephanie Mercury hits a snapmare and sets up for the Devil's Kiss, but Chelsea Green kicks Stephanie Mercury in the face to stop it. The crowd loudly boos. Chelsea Green slaps Nikki Bella, so Nikki Bella takes her down. The Secret Harvest grabs Nikki Bella for a double team suplex, but Natalya and Maxine Dupree runs over. Alright, Natalya, Maxine Dupree, and Nikki Bella hit Piper Niven and Alpha Fire with a triple team double suplex. Maxine Dupree does her reverse caterpillar and drops an elbow on Chelsea Green and Alpha Fire. Maxine Dupree then gets Natalya to do it, which was terrible by itself. Keilani Jordan whips on a kick to Natalya before Natalya blocks a second one. Natalya takes Keilani Jordan down with a disgust clothesline and gets her by the ropes. Jada Parker then comes from behind and eliminates Natalya. Jada Parker tells Natalya to suck it. Maxine Dupree is furious and attacks Jada Parker. Jada Parker lifts Maxine Dupree and puts her on the apron. Maxine Dupree kicks her back, but Candice Ray knocks Maxine Dupree off the apron to eliminate her. Jada Parker dumps Candice Ray onto the apron, but Candice Ray snaps her off the ropes. Keilani Jordan attacks Candice Ray, and then Jada Parker into her to eliminate Candice Ray. Michael Cole arbitrarily calls her Candice Michelle. That part was funny. So Michael Cole will be in trouble by that. But anyway, let me continue. Mitchin sends Keilani Jordan and Jada Parker to the corner and double team them with B-Fab. Mitchin and B-Fab dump Jada Parker over the top rope to eliminate her. Keilani Jordan hits the ropes, but Nia Jax clothesline her over the top rope to the apron. Candice LeRae then rips Keilani Jordan off the apron to eliminate her in the ring. Last Legend tries to lift Nia Jax, but Nia Jax slides off and shoves her into the ropes. Last Legend whips on a big boot to Nia Jax. Nia Jax rolls under the bottom rope to recover. Selena Vega and Julia are brawling on the apron. Selena Vega goes for the cold red, but Julia blocks it. Julia backslides her on the apron and knees her in the face. Julia goes for a pump handle slam, but Selena Vega slides off and sends her into the ring post before kicking her to the floor to eliminate the Women's United States Champion. Alright, B-Fab and Piper Niven are going at it. Piper Niven sends her to the corner, but B-Fab avoids an avalanche. B-Fab goes for a spin kick, but Piper Niven flips her over the top rope, but to eliminate her. Mitchin is also eliminated, but the cameras miss what happened. Chelsea Green is sent over the top rope to the apron. Mitchin tries to pull Chelsea Green off, but Alpha Fire hits Mitchin with a suicide dive. Alpha Fire is still in the match. She went through the middle rope. Last Legend attacks Selena Vega and lifts her. Selena Vega attempts a hurricanrana, but Last Legend powers her back up. Last Legend presses Selena Vega up and throws her over the top rope onto B-Fab and Mitchin. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven double team Last Legend and sends her into the ring post. Chelsea Green poses with the Secret Harvest. Nikki Bella then eliminates Alpha Fire from behind. Piper Niven knocks Nikki Bella down. Chelsea Green tosses some trash and mocks Nikki Bella's tongue. Lola Vice attacks Piper Niven. Chelsea Green grabs Lola Vice and lifts her, but Lola Vice gets away. Nikki Bella then spears Chelsea Green down. Nikki Bella and Lola Vice do the Bella dance. Piper Niven then runs them over. with a double clothesline. Piper never puts Lola Rice on her apron, and Lola Rice pushes her back. But Piper never eliminates her with a headbutt. Stephanie McCure and Nikki Bella then team up to eliminate Piper Niven. Chelsea Green attacks Nikki Bella, but Stephanie McCure quickly takes her down with a back suplex. Stephanie McCure then performs the double kiss on Chelsea Green, electing a huge reaction. Nikki Bella hits Chelsea Green with a TKO and sends her over the top rope to eliminate her. Alright, it says Nia Jax. Yeah, it says Nia Jax takes Nikki Bella down and does the Bella dance, which is terrible. Nia Jax sends Nikki Bella to the corner, but Nikki Bella boosts her back before hitting a head scissors takeover. Nia Jax lifts Nikki Bella and puts her on the apron. Nikki Bella hooks the head. She starts to pull. Last slash and then big boots Nikki Bella off the apron to eliminate her. The final three are The final three are Nia Jax, Stephanie McCure, and Last Legend. Last Legend lifts Nia Jax and puts her on the apron. Stephanie McCure and Last Legend double team Nia Jax, but she fights them off. Last Legend responds with a boot before using Stephanie McCure to boo her. They finally knock Nia Jax off the apron to eliminate her. Thank God. It's down to Stephanie McCure and Last Legend, the two future stars of the industry. Last Legend big boots Stephanie McCure and lifts her. Stephanie McCure slides off and smashes her with a lightning quick super kick. Stephanie McCure connects with a 619 and goes for a springboard crossbody, but Last Legend catches her. Last Legend goes for a powerbomb her over the top rope, but Stephanie McCure hangs on and pulls Last Legend over the top rope. Stephanie McCure hits Last Legend with the Devil's Kiss on the apron to eliminate her. That was awesome by Stephanie McCure. The winner of the match, Stephanie McCure. I'm glad that I picked Stephanie McCure to win this match. Stephanie McCure is going to WWE Clash in Paris to challenge for the Women's Championship. Stephanie McMahon enters the ring to interview Stephanie McCure. Stephanie McMahon asks in Spanish what this victory means to her. Stephanie McCure responds in Spanish before saying English is difficult for her. It's not her first language. Wrestling is her first language. Stephanie McCure emotional and thanks Stephanie McMahon and every woman before them. For that reason, they can make history. Stephanie McCure says Evolution is the biggest moment of her career. She promised she will keep working hard because you will remember her name forever. Stephanie McCure embraced Stephanie McMahon and posed as the protagonist goes off. Alright, let's move on. Great win for Stephanie McCure, which is I agree with that. I thought it was a shoe-in that Nikki Bella will win. So it was a true surprise to see her knock out Stephanie McCure is no doubt a future major star, which is I agree with that. I'm looking forward to seeing what she does and who she faces at WWE Clash in Paris. And hashtag WWE Evolution. WWE SummerSlam is coming soon. I can't wait for SummerSlam pay-per-view. The comedian Funny Marco is at ringside. Multi-platinum rapper, songwriter, and recorder producer Quavo is also in attendance. Alright, so we get a video package, Women's World Championship match. So we get the main event of the evening. Oh, I was so ready for this main event. So we get the Women's World Championship match. Rhea Ripley versus the Genius of the Sky, Io Sky. This was the match of the night right here. But the outcome, I didn't see it coming. But this was the match of the night right here. The bell rings and the main event begins. Rhea Ripley, who has never beaten this particular opponent in her career, stares across the ring at her. They lock up and Rhea Ripley back her to the corner. Io Sky goes to the bottom turnbuckle and twists Rhea Ripley around. Io Sky wrenches the arm, but Rhea Ripley stumps to the floor with wrenches the arm. Io Sky rolls through to escape the pressure and hits a headlock takeover. Rhea Ripley quickly grabs the head, but Io Sky gets out. Rhea Ripley hits a headlock takeover, but Io Sky grabs the head. Rhea Ripley kicks up. They hit some quick takedowns before Io Sky hits a snapmare for a one count. Rhea Ripley goes for a snapmare, but Io Sky lands on her feet and taunts Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley signs in frustration. Alright, they take a few moments to encircle the ring before locking up. Io Sky does a standing switch out of a race lock. Rhea Ripley soon sends her to the corner and keeps her trapped there. Rhea Ripley fights a punch, and Io Sky covers, so Rhea Ripley mocks her. Io Sky nods her head. Rhea Ripley says she respects Io Sky. Io Sky gives the respect back. Rhea Ripley says, "Good, so let's fight." Io Sky does some right hands and tries to leap over Rhea Ripley, but she gets caught momentarily. Io Sky soon does a cartwheel and drop kicks her out of the ring. Io Sky gets the crowd going and hits the ropes for a suicide dive, but Rhea Ripley forearms her back. Rhea Ripley puts her in an electric chair, but Io Sky lands on the apron and kick her back before hitting an outside moonsault. Io Sky gets Rhea Ripley in the ring and heads to the top rope. Io Sky dives onto Rhea Ripley's shoulders and rolls her up for a 2 count. Rhea Ripley fights back, but Io Sky pulls her down and applies a crossface. Rhea Ripley immediately fights up and elbows out. Io Sky hits a drop toe hold into the ropes and does a 619 into the head scissors DDT on the apron. Io Sky starts to chant women's wrestling. Io Sky size Rhea Ripley up on the apron and charge, but Rhea Ripley lifts her. Io Sky slides off and rocks her with a punch. Io Sky slings Rhea Ripley's leg into the ropes, but Rhea Ripley responds with a knee to the face before launching her into the commentary table. Rhea Ripley grabs Io Sky at the ringside and whips her hard into the leg barricade. Rhea Ripley bounces her off the steel steps and puts her in the ring. The crowd chants "Mommy." Rhea Ripley hits a traditional backbreaker before hitting a front suplex on the top rope for a 2 count. Rhea Ripley then grabs the body that starts to attack the ribs. Io Sky counters with a pin for a 2 count. Rhea Ripley immediately kicks her in the face for a near fall. Rhea Ripley is getting frustrated with her inability to put Io Sky away. Rhea Ripley has never defeated Io Sky in her career. Rhea Ripley applies a ground ambitional stretch. Io Sky fights up and punches out. Rhea Ripley rocks her with a right hand and sends her into the ropes. Io Sky does a pair of clotheslines and counters with a satellite DDT. Both women are down. The crowd chants "This is awesome," which I agree with the crowd. They exchange strikes from their knees before slowly getting to their feet. Io Sky loads with some forearms. Rhea Ripley grabs her, but Io Sky counters into a wheelbarrow facebuster before hitting a double stomp to the midsection. Io Sky rocks her with a kick to the skull and hits a German suplex. Rhea Ripley is out of the ring. Io Sky gets going and hits a suicide dive on Rhea Ripley. Io Sky sends her into the ring and hits a massive missile dropkick. Io Sky with a kip up and a flip. Io Sky connects with a bullet train attack for a near fall. Alright. Io Sky heads to the top rope. Rhea Ripley cuts her off. Rhea Ripley goes for a super German suplex, but Io Sky lands on her feet. Rhea Ripley avoids a corner attack and clubs the spine. Rhea Ripley tries to pull her up the ropes, but Io Sky sweeps her feet. Rhea Ripley lands hard on the apron on the turnbuckle. Io Sky grabs Rhea Ripley in a double underhook, but Rhea Ripley counters with a back body drop. Io Sky lands on her feet and uppercuts her away at her. Rhea Ripley fights back with some kicks and a facebuster. Io Sky does a clothesline and goes for a satellite DDT, but Rhea Ripley avoids it. Rhea Ripley elbows Io Sky back, so Rhea Ripley responds with a poison round of 1-2. Rhea Ripley kicks out. There are dueling chants for both women. Io Sky steps on Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley grabs the foot. Io Sky kicks her away and heads to the top rope. Rhea Ripley grabs her, but Io Sky kicks her back again. Rhea Ripley crotches her on the top rope and hits a vicious edge. Rhea Ripley immediately follows up with a sit-out powerbomb 1-2. Io Sky kicks out. Alright. The crowd chants once again, "This is awesome." Rhea Ripley is frustrated and slaps herself as she can beat Io Sky. Rhea Ripley goes for the riptide, but Io Sky counters with a sleeper hold. Rhea Ripley quickly backs her to the corner and clubs her away. Rhea Ripley climbs the second rope and sets up for a superplex, but Io Sky shifts her balance to the apron. Io Sky kicks Rhea Ripley off the ropes. She goes for a springboard missile dropkick, but she hits Jessica Carr when Rhea Ripley moves. Rhea Ripley headbutts Io Sky and hits a riptide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is no official. Rhea Ripley cannot believe she has finally beaten Io Sky, but no one is there to count the pin. Rhea Ripley frustratedly kicks the bottom rope. Rhea Ripley angrily grabs Io Sky and hits a big Razor's Edge. Io Sky rolls out of the ring to recover. Rhea Ripley then big boosts Io Sky over the barricade. Rhea Ripley starts to club and punch Io Sky through the crowd. Rhea Ripley puts Io Sky through the metal handrail and punches and headbutts her down. Rhea Ripley climbs onto the road crate and tries to power Io Sky up. Io Sky grabs on the other crate and kicks Rhea Ripley away. Rhea Ripley falls to the floor. Io Sky climbs on the top of the stacked road case and hits Rhea Ripley with a cross body block to the floor. I thought Io Sky was going to go for a moonsault, but it didn't happen. But anyway, let me continue. Io Sky grabs Rhea Ripley to start bouncing her off the walls and stomping her on the steps. Io Sky sends Rhea Ripley over the barricade, and they back at it. They're back at ringside. Io Sky goes for a bullet train attack against the commentary table, but Rhea Ripley moves. Io Sky hits ribs first on the table, regaining the pain in her injured ribs. Rhea Ripley gets Io Sky in the ring and clubs the apron. Io Sky goes for a sunset flip powerbomb off the apron, but Rhea Ripley holds the ropes. Io Sky pulls her away and hits a stiff powerbomb on the floor. Io Sky heads to the top rope, but hits it over the moonsault. As Jessica Carr gets in the ring, 1, 2, Rhea Ripley kicks out, and the crowd and Io Sky are stunned. The crowd loudly chants Rhea Ripley. Io Sky double stomps her in the head in the back of the top rope. Rhea Ripley rolls to the apron to save herself. Io Sky grabs Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley punches her away and slams her face off the top rope of the ring post. Rhea Ripley smiles and climbs the ropes. Rhea Ripley is on the top rope, but Io Sky counters with the splinter slide. That was clean by itself. But both women are down, and Naomi heads to the ring with Daphne LaShawn as the referee. Naomi is cashing in, making this a triple threat match. So the winner of the triple threat, so we get a triple threat match. So we get the women's world championship triple threat match. Rhea Ripley versus the Giants of Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley. Yeah, Rhea Ripley versus the Giants, Io Sky versus Naomi. This was a quick match. Io Sky waits for Naomi to hit her with the briefcase, but Naomi wasn't ready. Naomi then rocks her with a briefcase shot. Naomi attacks Rhea Ripley and sending her into the ring post. Naomi, who has her blooded nose taped up from her war with Jade Cargill. Io Sky with a split-legged. Io Sky waits for Naomi to hit her with the briefcase, but Naomi wasn't ready. Naomi then rocks her with a briefcase shot. Naomi attacks Rhea Ripley and sends her into the ring post. Naomi, who has her bloody nose taped up from her war against Jade Cargill. Io Sky hits a split-legged moonsault for the win. The winner by pinfall and your new women's world champion, Naomi. Now that was a shocker of the moment right there. But here's the good part. Naomi celebrates with the women's world champion as Protectors goes off. Naomi is absolutely fired up as the show comes to an end. Big moment for Naomi, but it's a shame it came during what was shaping up to be another classic with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Those two went all out in a match that was going to have a wonky finish. These are two of the best women in wrestling today. Rhea Ripley still hasn't beaten Io Sky yet. Still, every Money in the Bank cash-in gets a huge reaction, and this was no different. A huge moment for Naomi, who has been working hard to redefine herself as a heel. WWE Evolution. When Naomi's heel run has been good, and that's all I gotta say. And WWE Evolution goes off the air. Now WWE Evolution was a good show. It was way better than Saturday Night's Main Event, but let me say this one more time. AEW All In in Texas and AEW All In Texas and WWE Evolution was way better than Saturday Night's main event. And Evolution, this was way better than Evolution 2018 and Saturday Night's main event combined together. You heard what Naomi says when she won the Women's World Championship, right? No one to save. So Naomi is on Monday Night Raw. So Jade Cargill is going to go after Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam. And that's all I got to say. But I know for a fact that Rhea Ripley fans and Io Sky fans are mad about this. So they are mad right now. So Io Sky fans and Rhea Ripley fans are mad right now. But that was a good match between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Champion. But the outcome of Naomi cashing in, that was a shocker of the night. And this was the match of the night of Io Sky and Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Champion. But big moment for Naomi. That's all I got to say. Naomi has been doing a phenomenal job as a heel run. And she became Women's World Champion for the first time ever in 2025. So Naomi is on Monday Night Raw now, and no one is safe. So anyway, if you guys enjoy my WWE Evolution review on highlights, make sure you guys please watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content that I do on the channel, where I give you guys a full breakdown of my review and after my review. And go check out my AEW All In Texas review on highlights. And that's all I gotta say. But I'll see you guys tomorrow for my WWE Raw review on highlights. And then Tuesday, I will go live on Twitch with some WWE NXT Watch Along live and reactions. So stay tuned for that. Have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang.